Hello everyone, this video will be my third installment of the engine competition between the different engine brands. And in this video I'm gonna be doing kind of like Le Mans type cars. So I'm gonna be building a car for each engine brand, and then I'm gonna be driving them around this track for 24 hours straight. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna drive them for 24 hours. So for the Bulldog engine, I will do like a Le Mans type hypercar, because both the engine and the thruster are very flat, so it's gonna allow me to have a very, because Le Mans cars, they're very thin in some points, so it's gonna allow me to do that. Yeah, the rules are basically gonna be the same as F1 rules, which is 10 power cores max. Half the power has to be engines and the other half can be thrusters. Okay, so with that said, I'll start building. Also, this time I have all the decals. Last time I didn't have them, so none of the cars actually had the decals of their engine brand. Okay, so width wise, for these cars I'll do 8 wide, because that makes sense for a closed wheel car, I think. So this is what I have so far, kind of like a base, the chassis of a Le Mans car. But now for the canopy, think something like these blocks, maybe something like this is more accurate, because they tend to have pretty round windshields, and it's probably better aerodynamically. Yeah, maybe I'll just go with this, I guess. And here at the rear, I need to figure out how to make this slope pretty slowly in the way that Le Mans cars do. And they both slope, but they also have a fin, so they have this big fin that goes all the way back and then connects kind of to the spoiler, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that. Okay, for the fin, if I was to make it, I would use shield block, and I guess I'd have to place them. I guess it's not that difficult. Just place these, I guess. So it'll be something like this. It's kind of difficult to see in this yellow color right now. I just do gray. It's easier to see the shapes maybe, and then switch back to yellow later. But yeah, something like this for the fin, and then it will connect into oh, that's not the right spoiler. Like this. Okay, the only problem is this area, that just doesn't look right. Yeah, I need to both round this and have a fin. I use. That kind of looks good. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. And these, I guess. Yeah, it does kind of get weirdly low poly in this area, but I think it's pretty nice, simple solution. Kind of didn't do the most important part yet, which is to place in all of the power. So I should probably do that now. So if we're doing 10 power cores, that's 5 thrusters and 5 engines. So I'm probably gonna place them here and here in these gaps. That would be 4. I'm just gonna try to fill every gap with engines and see if that's a thing that I can do. Yeah, that's 10. That's kind of a lot of engines. Okay, now to connect everything, I'm just hoping that if I start placing these connectors, it will just all work and be connected. Okay, that worked perfectly. So yeah, everything got connected. And now I just gotta set up this to be forward. Yeah, so this is an actual working race car now. And I guess I can do a test lap right now and see how fast it goes. Okay, so this prototype car got 1 minute 42.96, which is definitely pretty slow, but I can improve it. Okay, I can place shields here, which will cover the thrusters and improve the aerodynamic. I don't know how great these arrows are, but this covers some hinges and improves the aerodynamics, I think. Oh, these are pretty bad. I don't know how I didn't notice these. I think probably the kind of solution that's in between looks and aerodynamic is like one of these is pretty decent aerodynamically, and I think it's gonna look fine like this. So that's kind of like intake type thing, and I can even place shields here at the bottom. So yeah, so now it just looks like part of the intake type kind of thing. Okay, one kind of tip for cars in Trailmakers is that if your engines only power the rear wheels, that can increase your top speed a little. And also, if your engines, like the less wheels your engines powers, the better, kind of usually, in a weird way. And so if I have these two power this wheel, these two power this wheel, and this one will power both, I guess, that can like improve my performance and stuff. Okay, some more aerodynamics I can improve is instead of these, to use these. And that will also kind of give some more shape to the car, like some interesting shape, and it will make these generate more downforce. So it's like a triple effect. Okay, I could remove these aerodynamics if I place shields all along the bottom, but the problem with that is that I'm using these connectors to connect this. Oh, actually, I don't even need these. Okay. Never mind, I'm gonna place shields there. Okay, I guess I should also paint this. Okay, I guess I decided to change the shape here a little, just to make it kind of more of a round thing. Okay, and then on this part, I can have the advertisement. I kind of gave it like headlights, like round headlights similar to the rally one, just because I thought it'd be fun. Okay, so after kind of looking at this car, okay, some of the things that I realized actually when I changed about this car is that, like for Le Mans car, it should probably be longer. Because right now, I think it doesn't look long enough because Le Mans cars are like really long usually. Also, I don't really like these logos, how they look on the sides. And I thought about it. Yeah, this logo is just weirdly shaped, and I think a better way of doing that is, I think, since it's an engine brand, you know, if they have an F1 team, they're an engine brand, they probably like make cars. It's probably like a car brand, right? It makes sense if it was kind of like a car logo, so like this or something. I think that looks better probably. Yeah, now I'm gonna make the car like longer. Okay, so now I have the longer wheelbase. So that does make it heavier than the previous car, but only by a little bit. Okay, so here I am testing the final version of the car, and overall I think this car turned out pretty good. Like the shaping and everything is pretty nice. But yeah, other than that, like on a different note, I haven't really uploaded a video in a while. And that's just because I'm lazy, but in the future I'll try to upload more often, like once every 1 or 2 weeks. And also another thing is that if you play the game on console and you submitted like a build for me to look at, I can't really look at that because like I play on the Steam version and it has different workshops, so yeah, if you play on console, I can't really look at any of your builds or anything, which is pretty unfortunate, but that's just how it is. We 134.45, so just barely below 135, which is pretty good. I mean, these cars aren't supposed to be like as fast as F1 cars after all. Like, no, F1's like the fastest race, so makes sense. But I think overall I really like this car. It does look like a kind of Le Mans hypercar slash like a IMSA car. It's a pretty good car overall. And now I'm gonna move on to the raw car, which is, as always, probably gonna be the most difficult since those engines are huge and really heavy. So I'm able to have 2 of these and 3 of these. Okay, yeah, I don't even know what kind of car is like this giant. Okay, for the front, to make the car not too huge, I could use the thinner wheels, the motorcycle wheels. It'll also make it kind of slower, but I don't know. So I just got everything connected with connectors real fast. It's pretty uncontrollable, pretty heavy. And yeah, the reason I'll have to have a lot of downforce anyway is because of all the weight. So I'll have to have downforce to be able to corner with this much weight from the engines and everything. Also, I still have the yellow color. I should probably change that. It's pretty fast. Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is kind of like the acceleration, because the engines, like the thrusters, are only able to be on for like a short period of time, and the engines themselves have very slow acceleration. Okay, so yeah, this is what I have so far, and yeah, in my opinion, kind of looks so far a little like a Pikes Peak car, just because of the crazy like spoilers and everything, because they usually have that. But yeah, overall not sure completely where it's going, but I'm just gonna like add car things to it, and hopefully it's gonna end up looking like a car. So I think this kind of gonna be like the basic shape. And now what I will try to do, because I have a lot of like solid blocks in here, I will try to do as much weight savings as possible and see how light it will be. Okay, so after some building, here's what I ended up with. It looks almost the same as previously. The main things visually different is now the engines are like all the way at the back instead of like more in the middle, and there's like a curve here because I wanted the car to kind of like get wider towards the rear. And also these things at the front here are different. It was shields before, but now it's these things, long hood, and that makes the aerodynamics better. So yeah, and now I guess I'll just paint it and see what it looks like painted. Okay, so I think that's pretty much the whole car kind of finished. So yeah, these are the decals that I chose to put on it. I put the raw logo, kind of like those like banners on the windshield of the car, which I think looks pretty cool. Yeah, I really don't know what to expect from this car. It might be slow. Hopefully it's not slow. But yeah, I really don't know what to expect, so I guess I'll start right now and see what kind of time I get. Okay, so here I'm testing the car, and after this I realized that it's actually like pretty bad. Just because the handling was off, and here I'm trying to like modify it a bunch to fix it, and like I ended up adding more downforce at the back and at the front, and like improving aerodynamics, improving weight. But at the end it wasn't like that helpful, as you'll see later. But while you're watching me modify this, another thing I wanted to mention is that in the future I want to make kind of like a pretty general tutorial about building cars, or like a guide I guess, where I just share a bunch of like information on building cars. So something I want from you guys is to comment below like some kind of niche things you know about building cars that I might forget to put in the video, or just comment anything that you'd want in a video that's kind of like a guide about building cars, like what's some of the important information I should include in that. And here I'm finally like testing the like final version, and I got 45.66, which is kind of bad, but I like how the car looks. At least it reminds me of like the Group 5 Porsche kinda. And yeah, the front's a little weird, but I had to make it like this. I also moved like everything back so I could have the aerodynamics and the spoiler and everything. I think kinda using these wheels kinda messed me up a little. Oh wait, actually I only have to move this forward one or this back one, and I could use the other wheels. So yeah, I did end up changing the wheels to the racing wheels eventually, and the reason I kind of had to do this is because I want all the cars to have like generally the same performance and not be too far off from each other. Okay, now the front is extremely long and it looks kind of weird because I had to place these differently, but at least now it's all the like racing wheels, so I can see how well it does with the racing wheels and see if it's a big improvement or not. So yeah, here's the run I did with the new wheels, and the car did handle much better this time, and like it was faster and better handling and everything, so I was able to get a better time. And yeah, in the end it ended up being pretty close and pretty good for a car that only uses like raw engines and thrusters. I think it is pretty fast. And yeah, the time I ended up getting is like 1:36, which is pretty comparable to the other cars. Okay, so now I'll be building the Dragon engine car. So yeah, I don't really have any plans for this car. I think I'll just start building and then see what it ends up looking like. Okay, I'm trying to think how to build like a good looking front area and still have a lot of downforce here. Probably something like this would be my best bet probably. So you have two spoilers at the back, and then I'm going to be using like a lot of these at the bottom to make sure those spoilers are actually like working. So it's going to be like the front, and then I have like a rounded kind of canopy. Okay, but the seat's like really far back in this car, so I guess I can have like the canopy going all the way back, and at the back I'm gonna have like the sides sloping up, kind of like they do on like old Le Mans cars. Also, a cool thing for like shaping is you can use a small wing piece to like kind of shape the side of the car, because it has some pretty like cool curvature. And I first used this trick on my Ford GT car, and I think it looked really cool on that. So yeah, it's a cool trick you can use to make pretty cool like shaping of the sides of your car. Also, I wish they added like more gradual slopes to this game. Like the slopes are already pretty gradual, but I wish they added like even more gradual slopes for really like, you know, like maybe even half tall slopes or something that are like just decorational would be cool. Okay, now for the downforce at the rear, I think I'll just use 2 of these, and I don't think I'll need any more, to be honest. I don't know, maybe I should try a different spoiler setup. Yeah, actually, maybe something more like this spoiler, because it's a little thicker. It won't look as weird like right after this. It's gonna be in the middle, so I can use these on the sides. And then I'll use more spoilers here at the bottom as kind of like the diffusers. Also, since my cabin is so far back, I can actually use like one of these on the roof as kind of the air scoop, and it doesn't look like it's like too far forward. Okay, and so far for pretty much all my cars, I kind of painted, or all my Dragon Engine cars, I painted them black and then just like with red accents. But to switch it up for this one, I think I'll do the opposite, and I'll paint this one red with like black accents. Okay, so because I have an air scoop, it kind of makes sense for the middle section to be thicker, so I can end the canopy earlier but still have space for the cabin like this. You know, it kind of makes sense because it's like because of the air scoop kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, so far pretty interesting car, like everything considered. I think the main unique things, I mean, just how much fenders I use is crazy, and like this front is kind of the main unique thing, I think, because I usually don't do the like double layered spoiler thing, but I think that's pretty interesting. But yeah, now I'll start painting it and see what it ends up looking like. Yeah, pretty cool. Definitely looks like the Ferrari Le Mans car so far, like the old one. Okay, so there I have the tiny little logo at the front. And now for the front lights, I think front lights here, I just used the number 1 decal, and then I placed it like this in like a weird way to have like the shape of the lights, and I think that's a pretty cool way of making the lights. Here at the front, I'll add like a front grill, like intake thing. It does look weird. Let's see, what other decals? Okay, watch this. Just came up with an idea that is genius. Okay, this is the eyelash grill strat. Well, I guess I could have used this eyelash instead. It's probably a better one. Yeah, there you have it. I have the eyelash grill. You'll be seeing this strat everywhere soon. Here's pretty much the finished Dragon Engine race car. And yeah, time to race it, I guess. I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty fast because it is using fast engines. It is only 9 cores though, because obviously you can't divide 10 by 3. So yeah, this is the Dragon Engine car, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It definitely looks a lot like a old Le Mans car, and especially the Ferrari one, because it's red and it just looks like it. But yeah, overall this car was pretty fun to drive. Obviously has really good acceleration because of the Dragon engines, and just in general it's very fast. And the double layered like spoilers at the front that I did, I thought was pretty cool, and it does allow it to have a lot of downforce. Okay, so there you have it. 1 minute 29.7, so that's pretty expected. Of course, you know, it's gonna be the fastest, you know, just because the engines are kind of the best. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I mean, all the cars were pretty close to each other within like 5-6 seconds. Yeah, I really like this car. Definitely looks a lot like the Ferrari car, especially like I even made the tiny little logo like they do on the Ferraris. Here's all the cars in the end. Yeah, comment which one you like the most. I think they all look pretty interesting. I mean, the Bulldog and the Dragon one like actually look like Le Mans cars, just from like different time periods. And this middle one, the raw one, I don't even know what it looks like. Yeah, comment which car you like the most. And yeah, this is the 3rd installment. This is pretty much it for the video.